Hi, I'm Vauna,
And I'm Roland.
and this is the Harmonious Family Podcast, where we help struggling but committed couples build meaningful, harmonious family relationships that last. Today we're talking about looking for the best in your partner, which will help to nourish relationships, build confidence in each other and self, and also add more purpose to the relationship.
And it just makes life better all the way around.
Certainly.
When you're finding the best in your partner instead of looking for the things that are less than ideal. So you want me to go? Sorry. Okay. So an example would be, there was a period of time when Vauna and I were really having some struggles, and she was ready to leave me, and I deserved it. And I desperately wanted to salvage our marriage. So instead of tracking all the things that I thought she was doing that I was feeling hurt by, I decided to start making a gratitude journal. At the time, I didn't understand that I was noticing her positive traits. At the time, I just was thinking of it as a gratitude journal. And what I did was every night before going to bed, I would write down a minimum of 10 things that I was grateful for about you, about Vauna. And I did that for months, and it started to take hold, I guess, if you will, started to change the shape of our relationship. And part of that is because it was changing my focus. We find what we look for, and when you're looking at the blemishes that your partner has, real or imagined, because let's get honest with ourselves, there are times when you think there's something wrong with your partner when in reality it's just what you think is wrong with your partner, because you're noticing, they might do 100 things right, and you're noticing the 2 or 3 things that they're doing that you don't like. So when you start focusing on what they're doing well, or what they're doing that you agree with, or the things that you're grateful for about them, when you start focusing on those things and you notice those more and more and more, and everyone has faults and flaws and things that they handle poorly or things that they fail to do well. Everybody can have moments when they're a jerk, or when they say things that are out of line or mean or whatever. And you can choose to focus on those things about your partner, or you can choose to focus on the things that they do that you love and that you're grateful for. And as you focus more and more on those things, you get more and more of it.
And I guarantee that there are a lot of positive traits, a lot of positive actions and things that your partner does on a regular basis that you may be failing to notice. And as you notice and acknowledge them, they will become easier to notice, and you will see more of them, because as you notice and acknowledge them, your partner will want to give more of that, because we tend to give more of what's being looked for in us. And I had an interesting situation recently. I'd gone on a trip, and I came home, and Roland, bless his heart, took care of our 5 kids for a whole week while we were gone and managed the house. And that's a big job. So good job. And I got home, and I'd been on vacation, and I'd had so little responsibility. And I came home, and it just felt so overwhelming. And I pulled into the driveway, and I thought, oh, you mean you put the Christmas tree there? And then I came in the house, and I'm like, oh, and the mess, and this, and I found myself in a really negative place. And I had to remind myself how much you'd done. And
this is the first time hearing about this, by the way.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't feel the need to point it out, because I knew it was in me. It wasn't him, it was me. And I remember a time where I used to let little things grate on me. And I used to, well, can't he do this, or can't he do that, and why does he do this? And that's so unproductive. That's so dangerous for your relationship. It's so damaging.
Mm-hmm.
And when you learn to notice and appreciate the positive and the good things that your spouse does, you will change. You'll change how you feel. Changes the connection between you, the love, the reciprocation of appreciation will grow and increase.
Yeah, and I mean, people want to rise to the expectations you have for them, and that can, if you have positive expectations, then they're going to want to rise to those expectations. And that's expectations that you hold for them internally. That's different from nagging or saying, well, why can't you do this or why can't you do that? That's not a positive expectation. That's the manifestation of an expectation to be let down that's being voiced in a way that is unproductive in the relationship. And when you expect people, your spouse to, or your partner to treat you well, and when you expect them to be loving and kind and forgiving and patient and all the things that go into having a healthy, productive relationship, then by and large that's what you're going to get. And part of it is because when you're expecting that, you're going to actually behave differently. You're going to act in a way that invites that behavior rather than a way that invites conflict, because we all kind of put out an energy where you've walked into a room where somebody's in a really foul mood, and you just walk in and the room it just feels nasty. It feels dark or cold, and you're just like, I can't wait to get out of here. That whatever. You might not even know who it is.
True. I also noticed that even if I don't say the things, but if I just think them, that still puts that energy between us. Mm-hmm. If I'm thinking, oh, why won't he or can't he just, that really affects the energy between us. And so I've made a real effort to stop using that kind of language in my head, and because then it doesn't come out of my mouth, and then that energy between us is a positive energy, because then it's, oh, thank you for this, oh, thank you for that, oh, look, you did this, and that is one of the greatest mindset shifts that I've made, that has really electrified the feeling between us. Mm-hmm. And it's just made it positive, deeper, happier, mm-hmm. fulfilling. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so if you ever find yourself thinking about something that your partner's doing wrong, then immediately ask yourself, well, what are they doing right? What are they doing that I appreciate, maybe that you forgot to notice? What is it that they're doing to be supportive, to be helpful? And in any relationship where people are truly committed to healing the relationship or to working things out, there's gonna be things that they're doing that are positive, beneficial, and loving, and it's your job to start noticing those things. And when you notice them, let them know that you're noticing them. Thank them for what they're doing. Thank them for the little things. Thank them for the things that you maybe wouldn't have thought to thank them for. As you notice them doing things that you are grateful for, thank them, notice it, and let them know. Because oftentimes we forget to notice, or to let our partner notice, or let our partner know that we're noticing the good things, because kind of our society tends to be, well, what are they doing wrong? What is it that I want to change? And and so sometimes they might feel like they're getting barraged with the negative stuff that needs to change instead of things that are going well. So make sure you catch them doing stuff right, let them know that you're aware of them doing stuff right, and let them know that you're grateful for them doing things that are right. And over time, as you do this, you can actually train yourself to start looking for the good. It's like the analogy, are you going to walk through a garden and be so focused like a rose garden, are you going to be so focused on the thorns that you forget to smell the roses and notice the beauty of the roses? Because, yeah, roses have thorns, but they're roses. And which are you going to focus on? And in your relationship, there might be some thorns, but the roses are there.
So I used to have this problem where I used to think that Roland knew all the wonderful things that I thought about him. And it didn't occur to me that I needed to express those on a regular basis. And so
I don't read minds well.
and so I would point out things that I would like changed or that needed to be different. And it took me a while to realize that he thought that I only ever saw negative things. And I learned that if I could tell him positive things about himself at least a 5-to-1 ratio of anything, negative, or could you change this or something like that, that's really the ratio that it takes to balance, because we do feel hurt or disappointed when our spouse or partner has something negative to say or something that they have asked us to change. And so it's very important to really seek to focus on those things so that that they can feel loved, appreciated. It's important to express appreciation and love on a very, very regular basis.
Yep. Okay. Can I give him an assignment?
Yeah.
Okay. So the assignment that goes along with this podcast is twofold. One, anytime you find yourself saying something or thinking something in your mind about something that your partner is doing that you dislike, I want you to ask yourself, what are 5 things that they're doing that you like? Now, obviously, we're not talking about things like physical or emotional or any sort of abuse. Okay, those things need to definitely be dealt with and treated and handled accordingly. So what we're talking about are behaviors like, did they leave their shoes in the middle of the floor? Did they leave their underwear in the bathroom? Did they not wash their dishes? Did they, were they shaving and left some stubble in the sink? I mean, stuff like that.
Were
right?
they grumpy when they came home from work because they had a hard day and maybe snapped at you?
Yeah, things like that. Okay, so when you find yourself noticing or talking to yourself in your mind about things like that, then make sure that you immediately ask yourself about 5 things that they're doing that you're grateful for, and 5 things that you love about them. And then the second part is get yourself a notebook, and every night before you go to bed, write down at least 10 things about your partner that you're grateful for. And you can say, I'm grateful when, like for me, I would say, I'm grateful when Vauna smiles when I come home. I'm grateful when Vauna calls me during the day. I'm grateful when Vauna sounds happy when I call her. I'm grateful when Vauna takes the kids to go do something when they're going stir crazy inside. Things like that. Or you could also use the language, I love it when my partner does XYZ, whatever. And just make sure that you're doing that and start doing that. Do it for at least a month. And you'll notice that as you do that more and more, you're going to notice more and more things that your partner's doing that have been there all along that you didn't even see. So thank you for watching the Harmonious Family Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, share with your friends, tell other people who you think would benefit so that they can, watch these episodes and start changing their lives, their relationships, and start building a harmonious family and harmonious relationships. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.